The built-in Reminders app provides a way to save things that you want to remember, but they might not be something that you're going to add to your calendar as an event. Reminders can just be basic lists that have items that are then manually checked off. Or we can set up scheduled or location-based reminders that will alert us at a certain time or place. It's also possible to organize reminders into lists and folders, as well as assign reminders to someone in our contacts. Reminders can be synced via iCloud or another account like Exchange or Google. I'll be utilizing iCloud Sync in this tutorial. The Reminders toggle is turned on in iCloud settings on both the iPhone and iPad. So let's take a look at the Reminders interface. On the iPad, we have the sidebar over to the left, and the reminders in the selected list are presented to the right. The Reminders app for iPad and the Reminders app for Mac are going to look very similar because they're essentially the same app. Apple has used their Mac Catalyst development tools to bring the iPad version of Reminders to the Mac. The only differences will be how the apps receive input, with the iPad being a touch-based device and the Mac using a pointer from a mouse or trackpad. On the iPhone, we have the same sidebar as we see on the iPad and Mac, but we need to tap on a list to view the reminders within it on the next screen. Tap the back button up here, or swipe left to right to return. In the sidebar, we have Smart Lists at the top. These are going to automatically display reminders that pertain to each category. The Today Smart List will display any scheduled reminders set for this date. Scheduled will display all scheduled or time-based reminders. All will display every reminder from all my lists and folders. Flag is only going to display reminders that have been manually flagged. And Assigned will show reminders that I have been assigned to. We'll cover assigned reminders later on. Tap Edit to set what smart lists are displayed here in the sidebar, or rearrange their order. So if you tend to not flag reminders, that smart list could be hidden. Below the smart lists are the reminders lists that have been created manually. Currently, I just have a single list here called Reminders, with one reminder within it. Tap on the reminder and we can edit its title. Tap on the Info button to the right to further edit or add details. At the top of the sidebar, we have a search field. If I enter Filter, my one reminder will turn up in the search. Obviously, this is going to become much more useful when you have many more reminders to search through. Next up, we'll look at adding basic reminders. In this lesson, we're going to add some new reminders and then mark them as completed. There are a couple different ways to add a new reminder. First, we can tap the Add Reminder button, which on the iPhone is available when viewing all the lists, as well as when viewing a specific list. On the iPad, the Add Reminder button only appears when I'm viewing the reminders list. We can also add a new reminder by tapping on the blank area under a reminder. The new reminder appears in the list represented by an empty circle. Start typing to enter a name. I'll call this one Reminder 1. Tap the Info button to the right, and we can add notes or a URL to the reminder, make it a scheduled reminder, location-based, or flag it. When I flag this reminder, it will then appear in the flagged smart list. Hit the return key after entering the name of a reminder, and you're automatically moved down to the next line with a new reminder. Of course, we can also use Siri to add reminders, which we'll cover later in its own lesson. Tap the circle to the left of each reminder to mark it as completed. The completed reminder is then automatically hidden from the list after a few seconds. To view the reminders that have been marked as completed, tap the ellipsis in the upper right and then Show Completed. We could tap this circle again to remove the reminder from the completed list. Tap up here again to hide the completed reminders. Reminders can be deleted with a full swipe left on them. It doesn't matter if the reminder has been marked as completed or not. Don't swipe left all the way and we get Details, Flag, and a Delete button. So these have all been basic reminders, which we don't actually get reminded of. With these, you'll need to come back into the Reminders app to check them off. There are no alerts associated with these type of reminders. Next up, we'll see how to create a scheduled reminder, which will alert us to do something at a certain time. In this lesson, we're going to create scheduled reminders. These are going to trigger an alert to appear at a specific time on the device that I created the reminder on, and any other devices I have that are signed into the same iCloud account. Let's start with the Replace Water Filter reminder that's here on the iPhone. To make this a scheduled reminder, I need to tap the Info button and activate the Date toggle. Now I can set a specific day for this reminder to trigger an alert. I'm going to stick with today for this example. If I want the alert to occur at a specific time, I need to switch on the Time toggle and enter a time. I'll set this to occur just a couple minutes from now. That reminder will then trigger an alert that appears on the iPad and iPhone because the reminder was synced via iCloud. Now let's create a reminder called Trash and Recycle. My trash and recycle bins are picked up once every 2 weeks on Friday morning. So I'm going to set this reminder for Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Then go to the Repeat menu and choose Bi-weekly. The Trash and Recycle reminder is now saved and is going to alert me every other Thursday at 7 p.m. Between the recycle weeks, I just need to take out the trash. So I can make a similar but separate reminder for that. So I will set up this reminder called Trash that only will occur every 2 weeks on the Thursdays that the Trash and Recycle reminder skips. So now I have these reminders occurring on alternate weeks, specifying when I need to take out only the trash or the trash and recycle bins. Notice in the Smart List that we now have 3 scheduled reminders, with 2 of those occurring today. Location-based reminders will trigger an alert when we arrive or leave a specific location. These are typically most effective when used with an iPhone, but they can be set up with any device, an iPhone, iPad, or Mac, in the Reminders app. I'm going to create a new drop-off package reminder here on the iPad. Then tap the Info button and activate the Location toggle. In here we have some preset options that can be used for the location. I have a home and work address set up for myself in the Contacts app. So that's where these 2 options are being pulled from. We also have options for getting in or out of a car. This is only going to work if your iPhone is being synced with your car via Bluetooth. Currently, I have home selected here as the location. If I then tap the Info button down here, I can switch between the alert occurring when I arrive at that location or when I leave it. If we select the Custom option here, that same panel comes up. For this example, I want to drop off a package at the nearest UPS store. Up here I can search for a location by name or by address. I want to go to the one here on Eagle Road, and I want the alert to be triggered when arriving. Tap and drag on this handle to control how far away from the location the alert will be triggered. I'm going to be coming south on Eagle Road, so I want to make sure to expand this enough that I'll be alerted in time to make the turn into the shopping center. Now I'm going to bring up my personal iPhone and show the alert coming in with a similar example that we have set up here. So location-based reminders can be super useful in helping you remember what errands you need to run and where. They're probably the most common type of reminder that I use. With the Remind When messaging option, we can trigger a reminder alert to occur when using the Messages app. So I've created a new reminder here regarding asking about getting a new Mac for the office. Of course, I could just message Drew right now about it, but if it's in the middle of the night or on the weekend, maybe I don't want to bother him right at this moment. So I'll toggle on When Messaging option and choose a contact, in this case, Drew S. Next, let's move over to the iPhone and head into the Messages app. And when I send a reply to Drew, the reminder alert pops up. Tap and I'm jumped into the Reminders app, and I could mark this as completed. This is only going to work in the Messages app. It doesn't work with Mail or in third-party messaging apps like Skype. Any reminder can have information added to it, such as a note, URL, priority rating, and an image. I brought back the new Mac for the Office reminder. I'm going to go into the info panel for it, and beneath the title, we can add a note or URL. I can enter or paste in text for the note. For the URL, I'm going to paste in a web address from Safari. That link will then be visible with the reminder, and the link will take us back out to Safari when it's tapped. Toward the bottom of the info panel, we can assign a priority. This is only a visual aid. Assigning priority isn't going to change anything about the reminder as far as the alerts associated with it or what list it's going to appear in. Assigning high priority puts 3 exclamation points at the beginning of the reminder title. Finally, we can attach images to the reminder. This can be done by importing an image from the photo library or using the device's camera to scan a document or take a photo. I'm going to bring in an image from the photo library. When viewing the reminder, the attached image or images will be displayed as an icon. Tap to view the attached image in full size. We're able to organize reminders into hierarchies or subtasks. I'm going to create a new reminder called Christmas Gifts here on the iPad. Then I'll hit return and add another reminder that should fall under the Christmas gift category. Tap and drag on this office chair reminder and hold it over the Christmas gift reminder to make a subtask. Notice the office chair reminder is now indented and the Christmas gifts reminder is shown in bold. When we tap return while in a subtask, the next reminder is also created under the Christmas gifts reminder. We're able to access the info button for the subtask reminders to add details or make them scheduled or location based, just like any other reminder. They can be marked as completed one by one, or we can tap on the main reminder to mark all of them completed at once. Now let's head over to the iPhone and create a new reminder called Vacation Prep. Tap the Info button and then head down to Subtasks. Tap Add Reminder here, and we can add subtask reminders that are going to appear under the main Vacation Prep reminder. Oddly though, we don't have access to the Info panel while adding subtasks here. But once I'm done adding the subtasks and I head back out to the reminders list, we can add to and edit these subtasks with their own info button. We can't go deeper than one level with hierarchies in reminders. If I try to place a subtask within another subtask, it just doesn't work. Even with that limitation, this can be a great way to organize several reminders under a main topic or goal. So far, we've just been working with a single list called Reminders. We can add other lists from the Add List button down here. I'm going to call this new one Projects. Below, we can assign a custom color and a symbol to the new list. I'm then going to rename my Reminders list to Home by selecting it and tapping the ellipsis here in the upper right. Then go into Name and Appearance. I'm also going to add one more list and call it Meetings. We can tap and drag to move reminders from one list into another. On the iPhone, I need to go into the Info panel to assign an existing reminder to a different list. I'm going to add a couple new reminders into these lists. It's also possible to organize multiple lists into a group. To do so, I'm going to drag the Meetings list on top of the Projects list to create a new group that I'll name Work. Basically, that gives us a collapsible folder that contains those two lists. Swipe left on the group to rename it, rearrange, or remove the lists within it. Tap the Delete button and we can delete just the group, or the group and the lists within it. Reminder lists can be shared with other Apple Reminders users. I'm going to share the Projects list. To do so, with it selected, click the ellipsis in the upper right. Then Share List. We can share this list via mail, messages, or just by copy and pasting the link. I'm going to use Messages to share this list with Drew. I just need to enter the recipient, and I can add to this message here if I want. So let's bring up Drew's iPhone and we can see the Reminders link here in Messages. Click and the list is going to be added to Drew's Reminders app. We'll be able to add new reminders to this list, as well as edit or mark as completed reminders already in the list. It usually takes just a few seconds for the changes to sync up between shared reminders. Click the ellipsis button again to see who this list is now shared with. From here, I could share with more people or stop sharing it. Reminders inside shared lists can be assigned to anyone the list is shared between. The Assign option will only be available if the reminder is in a shared list. So I'm going to assign this Apple Watch tutorial reminder to Drew. He'll get an alert that that reminder has been assigned to him. Drew can also assign reminders from this list. So from Drew's phone, he'll assign the drop-off package reminder to Warren. That reminder will then appear in the Assign to Me smart list here on the iPad. So utilizing shared lists and assigning reminders can be a great way for families or colleagues to collaborate on reminders to get more done. It's possible to share content from other apps as reminders. Let's start in Mail on the iPhone. In this message, we have an image attached. Tap and hold on it for a second, and the Share menu becomes available. Reminders is an option here, so I can create a new reminder from here in Mail that will have this image attached to it. I'm able to add details just as if I were creating it in the Reminders app. Tap Add, and it will be added to the home list in Reminders. It appears with a mail icon next to it that if I tap on will take me out to that message in the Mail app. Next, let's jump into Safari here on the iPad. I'm going to create a reminder from this iPad web page by going up to the Share button and tapping the Reminders icon. That makes the title of the web page the title of the reminder, which I can edit. And that link is automatically added here as well. I'm going to save this into my projects list. So this is going to work from many more apps other than these two. Just look for the Reminders icon when in the Share menu or after tapping the Share button. Utilizing Siri can be a great way to quickly create reminders. For Siri to be aware that you want to set up a reminder, we need to start with the words "Remind me" or "Set a reminder." We can add reminders from Siri within any other app. So currently I'm here in Music on the iPhone right now, and I want to add a reminder to water the houseplants tomorrow morning. I'll invoke Siri with a press on the side button and speak the reminder. Remind me to water plants at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Tap, and I can view it in the Reminders app. The reminder was added to my home list because it's set as the default in Reminders settings. We can also set up location-based reminders with Siri. I'll add one reminding me that I need fertilizer when I stop at Home Depot. Remind me to pick up fertilizer when I get to Home Depot. Since I didn't state a specific address or a location saved in my contacts, I need to pick one out of the suggestions that Siri comes up with. This first one is correct, which is the local Home Depot. Tap and it's added to the location-based reminder. Now let's move over to the iPad, and I'm going to delete the water the plants reminder that I just made. And instead, I'm going to create a recurring reminder with Siri. Set a reminder to water the plants every Wednesday at 8 a.m. If you get into the habit of utilizing Siri, it could very well become the most common way that you use to create reminders. In iOS 14 and later, we have a Reminders widget available. So if I tap and hold on a widget or an app and go to Edit Home Screen, I can tap the Add button in the upper left to see all of my available widgets. I'm going to head down on both devices to find the Reminders widget, which is available in 3 sizes. On the iPad, let's start with the Medium widget. Before tapping Done, single tap on the widget to edit it. In here, I can choose which reminders list I want the widget to display. Notice that we can select any of the smart lists or the lists that we've created. I'm going to stick with the home list in this example. Tap and drag on the widget to adjust where in Today View it's going to be displayed. Now on the iPhone, I'm going to add two Reminders widgets, both in the small size. One that will display the projects list and the other for the meetings list. On an iPhone, I can display these on any home screen or over in Today View. Tap on the widget to open that list in the Reminders app. Tap and hold on the widget to edit or remove it. If you have a reminders list or lists that you use frequently, this can be a great way to have it right at your fingertips. With an Apple Watch, we can view, mark completed, and create reminders. I'll press the digital crown to view the apps here on the watch, and then tap Reminders here. We're presented with all of our reminders lists, starting with the smart lists, and further down, the lists that we manually created. The only difference here is the work group that holds the projects and meetings list here on the iPhone isn't displayed on the Apple Watch, but the lists within it are. Tap on a list to view the reminders within it. Tap on a circle to mark that reminder as completed. To view all the vacation prep reminders, I just need to tap Show Items. Tap in the upper left to return to the lists. At the bottom of all the lists, we have an Add Reminder button. Using this option, we'll add the new reminder to my default list, which is Home. On the Apple Watch, we can add a reminder using voice dictation, Scribble, or just emojis. I'm going to add a reminder using dictation. Pick up dry cleaning at 4 p.m. today. We can add reminders to a specific list by first going into the list, then scrolling to the bottom for the Add Reminder button. Project to review 10 a.m. on Friday. Finally, I'll exit Reminders out to my watch face and use Siri to create a reminder. Set a reminder to replace water filter on December 1st.
Okay, added.
That's added on the watch and synced to the Reminders app on my other devices as well. Scheduled reminders can now be viewed, edited, and created from the iOS Calendar app. Let's start in the Reminders app on my iPhone. Currently, there are 7 scheduled reminders. These are going to be the only reminders that appear over in Calendar. Jump into All Reminders, and we can see that scheduled reminders have a date and time displayed below them. Here in the Project section, I have a couple standard reminders which aren't going to be displayed in my calendar. Same goes for the grocery list here in Reminders. Now let's head into the Calendar app. In the Today view, we are able to see the production meeting reminder. Reminders in Calendar will appear with a circle to the left of their name that we can tap to mark the reminder as complete. Calendar events won't have this circle. Tap and hold on a reminder here in Calendar, and we're able to mark it as complete, show it in the Reminders app, or delete it. Deleting the reminder is going to remove it from both Calendar and Reminders. When we're adding a new event in Calendar, either by tapping the plus button up here or by tapping and holding on an empty area of the calendar, we're now able to choose to create a scheduled reminder rather than a calendar event. Doing this will add the reminder to both apps. Over on my iPad, scheduled reminders appear in every calendar view except Year. Tap the circle next to a reminder to mark it as completed. We can also add new scheduled reminders in iPad Calendar with a tap on the Reminder tab here. Notice that from the Calendars panel on iPhone or iPad, we can choose to show or hide our completed reminders. With this turned off, when I tap a reminder as completed, it will be removed from my calendar. This provides a single place to see everything that's scheduled for your day or week, whether that's calendar events or scheduled reminders. For more details on how to use both the Calendar and Reminders app, take a look at our individual tutorials for each of those.